when it comes to books. I have no one to talk to about them. I watch a lot of booktuber videos and find recommendations and things that I want to listen to or read. I thought, why not start my own booktuber channel so that I can find people who are interested in the same books. If you're looking for a place that's cozy, passionate about reading and writing and books, then you found the right place. I hope this isn't just like any other channel that you've been to. Find it special and unique. I hope we can connect in the comments and over books, even book clubs. Like I'm using the Fable app. I started a book club for 5-star reads, finding those 5-star reads, reading them, and then saying, is it really a 5-star? Or yes, it's a 5-star. So if you're looking for a community like this, if you're wishing you had someone to read with, well, hello, I'm Haley, the maker of Haley Writes on this YouTube channel. This is only my second video. This month in January 2026 has been the weirdest mix of books I've read since I started reading passionately and a lot of books in August 2025. I read 35 books last year starting in August, so that was crazy. The main difference between my channel and everyone else's channels is definitely going to be the fact that I don't have 1,000 books sitting behind me. I do not have my own physical library. I listen to all my books or mostly read on my Kindle from the Libby app, which is free. So when I walk into a bookstore, I love to explore, but I don't like to drop $30 on a book, every week. That would be crazy. But all my books are read on my Kindle. This is my Kindle. It is a kid's Kindle. I was mind blown when someone else talked about it on their channel. They said, buy a kid's Kindle. It has way more storage and the price is so much better. It's cheaper and it's not kids on the inside. It's an adult full regular Kindle. So I love this thing. So cute. So anyways, back to the books. What books did I read? Well, the first book, let's put it over here. I'm like, well, this is how I start my new year. Interesting. It is 1984 by George Orwell. If you don't follow me on GoodReads or Fable, you can guess my rating, but I'll just describe this book to you real quick. As I'm reading these books, I'm trying to write down my feelings in the moment so that these reviews are better than me just trying to remember. Here we go. I read 1984 purely out of curiosity. I want to understand what inspired so many dystopian books that came after this book. The Hunger Games, Divergent, all of those types of books I know came later after 1984. So I loved all those books. I should read one of the originals. And honestly, it doesn't reach the height of expectations people set for me. So whoever loves this book, or if people use it as inspiration for their own book, I can understand taking inspiration from it, but I don't. Yeah, it's not my favorite book. It takes forever to read. And I'm a fast reader, so I said it's only about 8 days, but it feels like an eternity. It gets worse. I feel sorry for every character in this book. And I feel even more pity for Orwell himself. He writes this under what feels like a spirit of death. If you read it, tell me if you felt that. Knowing he's near the end of his life when he finishes it makes so much sense. I did some research about his journey in writing this book, and he was on his deathbed basically. He revived, he was no longer sick and he finished the book, but then he died. But I can't imagine this book being written any other way. So there's that. It's just really sad. The ending, I almost regret reading this book just for the ending. It kind of ruins dystopian for me. I read this book and then I read another book after this, which you'll hear, but it's also dystopian-ish, and it made it hard to read after reading 1984. So I rated this book 2 stars. Even now, as I sit here, that was earlier in January, now it's February. If I think about it, I still rate it 2 stars. I'm not thinking about the characters. I'm not thinking about the setting. I'm not thinking about Orwell. I'm not thinking about any of it. I'm just trying to forget it. So the only reason it wasn't 1 star is because it didn't have Oh, I guess maybe it did have some swearing. It'd be funny to go back into my GoodReads notes, which you could if you wanted to. I have all of the highlights. When I highlight things and make comments, it's all in my GoodReads. Side note, I try to keep that in my back pocket while I'm writing a book. I'm like, ooh, what do I like about books? What do I not like about books? And I can see it in the highlights and pull from that in my notes later on so I can improve my own writing. That's why I'm reading so much, especially because I wouldn't say it's totally dystopian, but it's based in the future. So I like to read books that are based in the future. So that's my review of 1984. If you want to read it, you can, but you probably will end up super, I wouldn't say depressed, but upset and sad. And yeah, my full review is on Fable or GoodReads, and I like to leave that here for you guys so that you're not having to go all over the place trying to find it. But I would love to follow you guys on Fable or GoodReads if you are on there. Yeah, just trying to build community because none of my close friends or family are into reading the way I am, and I really am looking for people to connect with. So that's the purpose of that. So if you want to connect. Next book, Matched by Ali Condi. And the reason I read this book in the way I found it was I had AI take what I've written and find a comparable list of books, because that's something that most publishers want you to do if you are publishing a book. So I was like, okay, I should probably read more books that are comparable to the one I'm reading if I want to either self-publish or publish a book. So I chose this book, and I'll give you my rating in a little bit, but I will kind of explain. It's a book about a girl who is in the future. Everyone is matched. At the age of 16, you either are matched on your birthday, which is actually less common, but she is matched on her birthday. So what is being matched? It's a girl and a boy, and usually some other far off place, being matched on a camera in front of everybody. It's like a whole ceremony. You wear like basically a grad dress, and she's expecting to be matched with someone in some other town, but something interesting happens and there's a good plot twist. So I highly recommend reading it. It's definitely not my favorite book. I felt it was a bit slow at some parts. But I finished this one on audio using the Libby app, and I'll be honest, it wasn't very exciting. Like, it could have been more exciting. Like, it's not like the Hunger Games where they're like about to die and there's something to fight for. In the end, someone is like taken from her life and she doesn't know what to do about it. And so I'm interested in like what happens next, because it is a series. So my little critique is that the stakes always felt low. It's definitely a coming of age. So if you are a young adult or a teenager, you'd probably really enjoy this book. But the prose feels flat. Like, the writing isn't super interesting to me. I'm reading a book right now in February, one of the first books I'm going to read in February, and it's so interesting. The prose is exciting. So I'm glad that I put this for match, because it makes sense. I didn't mind the love triangle trope that it has, but the reactions, especially from the boys, don't feel realistic. Honestly, the whole world that is built feels a little bit underdeveloped. I feel like I want to know the world a little bit, how it works more in depth, but maybe it's because she's a teenager and she's the one processing everything. It's also hard for me to remember the protagonist's name. So again, this is why I did rate this book 2.5 stars. I would recommend it for younger people, but as an adult, I just feel like I need something more interesting and in-depth. But in my notes, at this time of writing the review, I did remember their names. I was wondering why Xander is such a popular dystopian name. Have you noticed that? The things that I did enjoy was the use of statistics and percentages, because it reminds me of my own book and my own writing. And I like seeing how this girl internalizes a future world. I think it's very interesting. She's already living in it, so she's not necessarily questioning how it works, but that's sort of how I'm writing about, like, my protagonist. I'm writing as if she's in the future. She's already living in it, so she's not questioning it, but she is deep down wondering, is this right? In the book Match, there's no AI, but there's all these statistics in the system that's working around her and her family, and she's wondering, like, why is it the way it is? And so I loved that. It was so interesting to see the future through this teenage girl's eyes. So I wish there was more oomph one twist, like one surprise, something that would have made it easier to like get through the book. And again, this would be great for a teenager, probably PG-13, but if you're hoping to encourage teenagers to save their first kiss or keep the curiosity low, this might do the opposite. I think that it is more of like her like, oh, I matched and I like someone, and you know, so it depends. So that's just something to keep in mind. I love the idea of this book. I just want it to feel a little bit more dystopian than it did and hook me right from the beginning, you know, not have me just curious. Again, I'm not really thinking about the characters. I'm not really thinking about the book. The only reason I would is if I saw it in a bookstore. I'm like, oh yeah, But it does get me thinking, is that how people are going to feel about my book? So then I do want to read more 5-star books to see, okay, what makes it a 5-star book? So this was 2.5 stars for me. My full review is on GoodReads and Fable, and those links are always going to be in the description. Let's move on to the 5-star book of this video, Equipping the Saints by Paul Cummer. This was definitely my favorite book this month. It was really good. If you're wondering like, what is Equipping the Saints? Let me just tell you, this book is a gift, especially if you are a Christian or a believer in Jesus. This book is so special. It's about leading and equipping and discipling the next generation, but also just people around you in your community and yourself. It's like improving yourself and your marriage. I gave this book, actually I gave it 4.5 stars. So that's like as close to 5 stars that I think a lot of books get. 5 stars to me is like, I'm thinking about it every day, think about the characters, but this was a nonfiction book, so it's not really like that. So that's why I gave it a 4.5 stars. It feels personal and intentional in a way that a lot of other books in this genre don't, like Christian nonfiction. Paul shares real examples from his life and leadership opportunities, and they really stuck with me. They'll stick with you. Like, they're really beautiful. I've read books by Bill Johnson, Haley Braun. I've read some missionary biographies, and there are some really, really good ones. But Paul just made it really down to earth in a way that you could like relate and get with. So I love this book. I feel like I genuinely get to know him. I love books that you really get to know the author if it's nonfiction. His humanity, his faith, his struggles, his family is beautiful, and the way that he talks about kingdom culture in the home really impacts how you lead community. I would absolutely listen to this again, especially while leading a ministry or on the missions field. That was one of my favorite books, but I'm not writing nonfiction, so I appreciated the book. I love the book, but I do want to read more fiction in 2026, just like I did in 2025. The next book that has been rated by all these other booktubers that I watch, I think it was like a 4 or 5 stars. So I thought this book was going to be like absolutely amazing. But here's my honest feedback on The Ministry of Time by Killian Bradley. From the very beginning, the prose did grab me. So that is a bonus. That is a plus. This is not another 1 or 2 star book. Okay, guys, this is a very good book if you want to read something interesting. One of the main characters, Gore, he is hilarious. The way he speaks is so funny. He's from the past and he's brought into the future. It's a time travel book that is not giving anything away because it says all of that in the description. But I was chuckling throughout a lot of the book because of the conversation Gore and the main character have. And I'm pretty sure the main character never tells us her name, which is very interesting. His personality, though, is so perfect. And I can't fully explain why. You have to read it. It's so funny to read someone from the past being brought into the future. Just how they see the world is incredible. It's so funny. Metaphors and the similes in this book are unreal. They are unhinged. They are so unique and different. And I was constantly stopping and thinking, how does she even come up with these metaphors and similes? Like, they are so different. I was so inspired by that. I was like, I want to be able to do that. I love metaphors and similes. I see the world through them. Just like coming up with a picture in your mind for how something feels. She writes things like, I finally had a savings account that looked like it might withstand a life emergency rather than crumple at a dentistry bill. That's a cute metaphor. Or it's not really a metaphor, but I liked it. She uses words so playfully, it feels like she assumes no one will ever read this, and that's refreshing. And she did write that at the end of the book. She wrote, I only thought like 5 people would read it, and now it's a very well-known book. So I just thought this book's so refreshing. I gave this book 3 stars. We never learn the main character's name, like I said before, and I believe that's intentional. It highlights gore and the people who never made it home. It's very clever. She did a lot of history from this time period that she wrote about. So if you're into that, you'll like this book. This is a slow burn. There is swearing. There's some spice that needs to be skipped if you are a skipper of spice. A spice skipper. If you're a spice skipper, then you'll be doing that in this book. If that's not something you want to navigate, this probably isn't the book for you. Just fair warning. As a writer myself, I say for the sentence structure alone, it was so good. I didn't DNF this book because every star that I gave went to her writing prose and like her writing style and how she wrote one of the main characters, Gore. So beautiful. But yeah, if you're looking for an interesting prose, then this book, I'd recommend it for that reason alone. And I know a lot of other people have read it and rated it 5 stars. Maybe they connected to the book in a way that I didn't. Like, one of the things that I liked was that the main character had a mixed ethnicity. Her mom coming from another country and navigating what happened in that country. I won't give anything away, but like, and who she is today, it all like everything her mom went through affected her and made her who she is, and fighting through that, figuring out how people are going to relate and navigate who she is, was very interesting. I liked it. It was thought-provoking. I need a true love story though in February. Like, someone give me I need something that doesn't have a sad ending. Would be really nice. These books that I read in January did feel hopeless in a way that doesn't sit quite right with me, and so that's what I'm hoping to make my channel a little bit different, is being able to share spiritual side of things as a writer and a reader. How do these books affect me? Do I recommend them to people who want to keep their spirit and their soul pure? So I'm always going to give that honest kind of critique, share if it's spice or no spice, that type of thing. That is the 4 books that I read this month. I hope you like them. I hope you like the reviews. I'll make sure to leave each one in the description. If you like these styles of books, if you are looking for more 5-star books and you want just like a big sis to hang out with, or a friend, if you're like, girl, you ain't my big sis, you're my little sis, or if you're like, I just need more friends, then I would love to be here for you. We can be friends, make community together over a community of books, because that would be really fun. And I'd love to hear if you read any of these books, if you've reviewed them, even your GoodReads info or your Fable info. Like, I'd love to find you on there, or find me. Feel free to DM me on there. Fable specifically, GoodReads doesn't have DMing capability, but if you have any recommendations for me, if you're like, Haley, based on what you shared in this video, I think you would like X book, drop it in the comments. I'd love to read it this year, and I'd love to review it, get to know you guys better, and see what style of books you like too. If you're like, Haley, I loved and rated 5 stars to all the books you rated 2 stars, I apologize, I'm sorry, but we have very different tastes, and I think that's fun. I love it. That's it for now. Please like and subscribe. This is my 2nd video on this channel, so I appreciate every second of the video that you watch. As I'm looking at the analytics, I'm like, wow, I'm just so grateful for the people who take the time to watch the full video and like this. So yeah, I appreciate you if you stay to the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys, and let's get started. Let me just put those right here. Okay. Focus on books.